Okay, do you know what is failsafe and failfast?
Yeah. So in case of fail fast, actually, if you are trying to modify the existing collection, then in that case, what will happen? It will fail actually. So while failing, it means that it will throw concurrent modification exception. So the examples are array list set. So in that collection framework, actually, what is happening whenever we are trying to modify the existing collection, it will fail over there by throwing concurrent modification exception. But that will not be happening with fail-safe iteration. So if you are using like copy on write array list, so that is a fail-safe iteration process.
Okay, consider a scenario where your team has encountered the concurrency issues while multiple threads are accessing the shared resource simultaneously. The thread leads to inconsistent result. How would diagnose and fix the result?
Yeah, if multiple threads are trying to access it, then we will be look out for that, like which particular resource is creating that issue, and then we can make use of proper synchronization. So we can make use of wait and notify process properly, and within that synchronized block, actually we can call the wait method, and it will allow only one particular thread to create a lock, and then it will notify to other thread like this particular process has been released, like after execution of the work thread 1 has released the object lock, then again thread 2 will start its execution. So proper wait and notify mechanism should be implemented to handle this issue.
Have you worked on Executor Framework?
We haven't got actually much chance to work upon it. So the existing code which was there, I have gone through it a bit. So basically, if we are calling the third-party API, in our case actually, we are basically calling the third-party SCP service, and then we are storing the data in a completable future. And then within that, by storing that, we are combining the multiple completable future data, and then we are using supply async to supply the data. So like that, it has
Okay.
been implemented in our project.
Okay. Have you worked on exception handling?
Yeah.
Can you tell me the hierarchy of exception handling?
First of all, it comes like throwable class. Then within that, it comes like a exception and error. Within that exception, it will have checked exception, unchecked exception. Yeah. So within checked exception, there will be like IO exception, SQL exception. Those things will come.
Let's suppose you're working on Java application that throwing null pointer exception at runtime. Can you tell me how you can identify the source of this exception and resolve it?
Yeah, so basically, if any object is null, and if you are trying to call a method from that null object, it will throw null pointer exception. So basically, we can do it two ways. Either we can go through logs and see like which particular object is coming as null. So if we check the exception log, it will show like this object is null. Then that way we will go through that line, that method, and then we will see like what is the root cause. So if that particular object is null, then we can handle it by using optional class. So we'll be storing it within that optional, and then we can do like optional dot if present or else. So if we make use of or else, then the null point exception will not come. Like if in any scenario, if present condition is not working, like if it is not present, then or else method will be executed.
Okay. Have you worked on Java 8?
Yeah.
What are the important features of Java 8?
Java 8 features are like the default and static methods are there. Lambda function, functional interface has been there. Yeah, so method references are there.
So what feature exactly you work on?
So we have worked upon Stream API.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So
optional we
apart
have
from
used.
Stream API, anything else
Yeah,
they did?
optional class I have used, and method reference also
Okay.
I have used. Yeah,
So you use Stream API, function interface, Lambda expression,
yeah,
optional class. Okay, so you work on function interface, method reference, of course, Lambda expression, Stream
yeah.
API, and optional class.
Yes,
Correct
yes,
me,
yes, yes,
right?
yes.
So, what are the different types of function interface we have with this?
There are a lot of functional interface.
In Java 8, actually, specific.
Yeah. So in Java 8, there are like predicate or their function is there, then consumer is there, then supplier is there. Then apart from that,
Okay,
yeah.
that's fine. What is the you work on Stream? Can you tell me the Stream pipeline, Stream API pipeline in Java, how it works.
Yeah, so basically stream starts, it works on generally collection object. So after that, actually after doing the stream operation, there is like terminal operation and intermediate operation. So if you are doing the intermediate operation, there are certain methods comes in there, like filter method, map method. Then after going through that intermediate operation, then comes a terminal operation. So this intermediate operation will not be executed until and unless we are terminating it with a terminal operation. Like if we are using collect method, or if we are using for each method, then after execution of terminal operation, then whole stream process gets executed, which is basically lazy type.
Okay. What is the difference between map and flat map operation?
Yeah. So basically, flat map actually flattens the actual mapping process. So let's suppose I'm making use of like employee class. In employee class, there are certain set of departments, list of department. There is a chance that one employee is working in three departments. So we are creating a list of departments within the employee class, and there is a department class as well. So it will be like it's like array within array. So list within list, like that. So to flatten that, we can make use of flat map. So it will be showing like employee one, then that particular DPT one, then other data, then EMP one, then DPT two, then other data. So it's basically for flattening purpose. Yeah,
Sorry, there was a network issue. Have you worked on design patterns?
yeah, I've worked on design patterns.
Okay, just so what design pattern have you worked on, Devji?
Yeah, so basically we worked upon singleton design pattern, factory design pattern. So basically creational design pattern we worked upon.
So what is double lock checking in singleton design pattern?
Yeah, so double check locking concept is a concept which basically used during multi-threaded environment. So within that, we are making use of certain conditions within that method. So get instance method is written within that singleton class, and then within that actually we are checking the reference. Like if a reference is null, then within that we are synchronizing the class actually. So after synchronizing the class, then we are checking again, like if that particular reference is null or not. If that particular reference is null, then we are creating the new instance of that class. Otherwise, we are returning the existing reference only.
Okay. Let's suppose you want to design one, you want to use a Wi-Fi system for colleges. Okay, there you want to design one system for colleges where while using the Wi-Fi system up there, you need to restrict some particular sites. Okay, like you can say YouTube or social media sites, this kind of thing. Okay,
Mhm.
while using a Wi-Fi of colleges or organization, we are restricted to use some of the sites, right?
Okay.
You can't use that. So what kind of design pattern you can use on that part?
Can we make use of like a strategy design pattern? So
Why strategy?
uh, actually, like there will be like multiple implementations for that. So if I want to restrict some of them, then we can create one interface for that, and then we can create multiple classes for that, which is implementing the interface. And then we can check uh, like what all access data is coming from the website. So if access is for YouTube, then we can restrict it by putting if condition. So we can create separate classes implementing the interface like that. And then from main method, then we will be creating the instance only for that class which I want to call. And for those particular method, we can restrict it with if condition.
Okay. Do you know the solid principle of OOPS or solid design patterns?
Yeah. So basically, it consists of like S stands for single responsibility principle. Like one class will have only one responsibility, and we can't write multiple functionalities in one single class. Then comes O, like it's open for extension, closed for modification. So actually, we should not modify the existing class. Rather, we should create a separate class. Then we should make the changes in that, and then extend that logic. So it is for O. Then is a Liskov substitution principle. So Liskov substitution means the child class changes if there is a parent class and there is a child class. So parent child class functionalities or the implementation can be replaced by the parent class implementation. So and the business functionality should work properly. So that is a Liskov substitution. And I means interface segregation. So let's suppose for a particular restaurant there are multiple functionalities like serving a customer, then payment processing, then preparing food. So a client doesn't need the implementation of all those methods, all those implementations. So if a client want only serving to customer, so that particular can if we can create one separate class, and then it will have only those data like the which the client wants. So if client wants only serving customer, so that serving customer needs to be implemented. So separate interfaces needs to be there based upon their client's requirement. So it will have only those method which the client need, not unnecessary methods. And D means I think dependency inversion principle is there.
Okay. Have you worked on Spring Boot's application?
Yes.
So how you handle a
Hello.
application?
Sorry, I didn't able to hear you. Actually.
Are you able to hear me now?
Yes, yes, I'm able to hear you.
Hello. How you handle the exception in Spring Boot application?
Actually, in our past project, we have made use of some custom exception class we have created by extending the exception class, and then within the constructor we are using super, and then passing the message. Then super message we are writing. Then from the main class where we have to throw. Then within the method definition, under certain condition, we will be doing like throw new something not found exception. We will be throwing from that class. So like that we have done, and we have made use of try catch also to handle the exception. And in the recent project we have made use of rest controller advice as well. So we have created one separate class for rest controller advice, and then we have created exception handler at that exception handler annotation we have used for that. And then we have separately written the response entity for that, like what error is coming, what message is coming. We are setting it based upon the exception. And then
Okay, I got it. Let's suppose to enhance the performance, caching mechanism need to be implemented in both server side and client side in Spring Boot application. So how you would integrate the caching solution like Spring Cache or Redis in with your Spring Boot application? Do you have any knowledge on caching strategies that need to be integrated with Spring Boot application?
yeah, there are caching strategies actually. So basically we have to make use of at the rate cacheable, and then above class we can make use of at the rate enable caching. And then with the help of that, actually whenever we are calling a particular endpoint once, it will store the data of that in that cache so that it doesn't hit the DB again and again. And if it will check that if that particular endpoint and data is accessing again and again, if it is there, then it will fetch the data from the cache and it will print it up. We are making use of cacheable actually.
Have you open Spring Security, Spring Boot Security?
Not much actually. So basically JWT token only we have made use of.
So I'm not talking about JWT token or OAuth token, just a basic security which is provided by Spring Framework. Do you have knowledge on that part?
Yes, actually we have to add the dependencies in the POM file, like Spring Security dependency. Then after that, it will start doing the basic authentication. So before adding that, if we are trying to hit the endpoint directly, it will get the data. So it will not actually check like who is trying to access the data or that endpoint. So after adding that dependency,
Okay.
it will start putting the login page. It will start showing.
Okay. Can you tell me the approach to integrate the testing to your UI and backend with the Spring Boot test cases? Do you have knowledge on that? How you set up and configure test environment, mock dependency, and end-to-end functionality in the Spring Boot application?
Yeah, so for Mockito, actually for JUnit 5, we can make use of like JUnit runner or Spring runner we can make use of. And then within that, for the classes, the main classes, for example, if you are writing JUnit test case for service class business functionality, then we can do inject mock. It basically creates the instance of that class, and then we can make use of it to call the method of that service here. And then for the particular field values written within that. Let's suppose repository field we are using, then we can make use of @mock over that repository and call the method like mockito.when that repository dot method dot then return, and then we will be setting up the data. And let's suppose there is certain fields which we are using again and again in multiple classes, then we can create one separate method, and then we can do like iterate before each. So if we are using that annotation over that method, then what will happen, it will do the setup at the loading time, and then we will not be writing the same field setup again and again. So it will load all instance at once, and then we can use it directly. That way we can do. And for, yeah, this way we have done. And then we have made use of like assert equals to check the exact value, like expected value and actual value. So if this is equal, that means assertion is working.
Sorry, have you worked on microservice application?
Yeah, I worked on microservice application.
Okay, can you tell me what are the different types of inter-service communication between microservice, both asynchronous and synchronous?
Yeah, first synchronous, actually it's like a REST template is there which we have used. So within that, actually we have to auto wire REST template class, and then within that, with that reference, actually with that we can call the method of that REST template like exchange method, and then we can pass the URL, and then we can pass the request which that particular endpoint or that microservice is accepting. So that particular request we will be sending it up there, and then we will be getting the data, and then we will be checking like we are checking the status with get status, and we are checking the body. So if body data is present, then we will be storing it, and then we'll be using it. This is for synchronous. For asynchronous, we can make use of like RabbitMQ and Kafka. We can make use of. So it is for async communication. So there actually there will be like a producer consumer concept will be there. So there will be the listener which will be there like at that Kafka listener, which will be continuously listening to what data we are producing at the producer level, and then there is certain method which we are using to send the data from the producer, and then consumer will consume it. So the Kafka
Okay,
mechanism.
that's fine. Let's suppose you're working on distributed microservice application and then you are facing some performance issue. How you trace and diagnose this performance issue, like performance issue and understanding the flow of requests across the service? How do you implement tools like Jenkins or AWS Xray to collect and trace the data from the microservice application?
Actually, for logging purpose, we can check like where and all issues are coming in the distributed microservice. So to we can create one separate logging microservice, and then within that we can have the Kafka present within that. So whenever there is like issue is coming in a particular endpoint, so it will send the data that with that message to Kafka broker, and Kafka broker will send the message back like I have received the message. So it will be stored it up there, and logging microservice will be there. It will get the data from the Kafka broker, and it will store it, like these issues are coming. So like that, the data will be coming and storing it up. So we can create a separate microservice for that. And actually distributed transaction are having issues like that same transaction is distributed across multiple microservices. So to resolve this issue, like Saga and choreography design pattern came, sorry, orchestration and choreography design pattern came into picture, like it's coming under Saga design pattern. So basically there is a success event and failure event gets triggered at every instance. So let's suppose for food delivery, if I'm considering, so if there is a person who is ordering the food, like food order has been successful, then payment is successful, and then a particular delivery boy is assigned or not. So three services are there. So let's suppose after payment successful, but food delivery boy is not assigned, then there will be like a failure event will get triggered from there, and entire microservice changes gets rolled back. So uh, like this data will be getting passed.
Okay, have you worked on RESTful API?
Yes.
Can you tell me how you implement the versioning in RESTful API versioning and all these things? What is the best practice to implement this versioning in API, a RESTful API? Do you have any basic knowledge on that part?
Versioning in the sense like GitHub or versioning tool you are telling?
Like where you want to version your endpoints. There, where API versioning in RESTful API, where you
Yeah.
can have
Mhm.
different versions of API, right?
Yeah, so it's like
Do you know
slash
how to
API.
implement that?
Yeah, so in
Yeah.
actually we are implementing with the help of in the URL we can write like certain request slash API slash v1, and then we are like version is getting changed from v1 to v2, then v2 to v3, then it will be getting set up, and it will be put up as a path variable, and then every time if few things are getting changed and most of the things are remaining same, then it can create a new instance to store the data in DB with a new version. So basically similar thing are there but few changes are there, so it will be storing it in data with a new version so that we can differentiate for auditing and logging purpose, like what all data were there before and what is the current data.
And work on CI/CD pipeline in Jenkins. Do you have knowledge on that part?
Actually, there were DevOps tool who actually manages that. So basically, we were doing the triggering part. We are passing the branch name with the specified environment, and then we are triggering it. Then it goes through all the stages like sonar, checkmarks, Marvin build, then deployment to that particular environment. Then if it,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Just last question.
yeah,
Okay. Have you work on JUnit?
yes, I have
So let's suppose you want to implement a factorial of numbers. So how you implement a JUnit test cases for the same? How you design that?
achievement for
Like
factory.
you have to calculate the factorial of numbers. So how you write the JUnit test cases for the same?
So basically, we will be doing the inject mock for that, and basically we will be making use of a recursion. So we will be passing the data. So base case will be written in the main class only. So like if n equal to 0 or n equal to 1, we will be returning 1. So otherwise we will be doing like n into factorial of n minus 1. So that logic will be written in the main class. And in the test class, we can call that particular method like factorial dot fact method. We can call that class and we can pass the n as 5. Then actually we will be storing the data in a particular int value, like int val equal to that particular call. Then the expected result and the actual result will be seen with the help of assertion dot assert equals, and then we'll be checking like whatever data is coming is the actual data or not. So actual data we will be getting, actual data will be setting, and expected data we are getting from that method call. So if both are same, it will be true, like it passes, test case will be passed.
Okay, that's fine. So Devjit, we have done with the verbal question. Now we want to evaluate you on the basis of coding round. Are you able to see a black code editor in your screen? Okay, so let's suppose there is a list of integer from 1 to 1000 or 1 to 10,000, and that consists of duplicate elements. Okay, we need to write a program to find the duplicate elements in the list of array. Okay,
Okay, so we are given list
can
of.
you write down the logic? Can you write down the Java function to find and return the all duplicate elements in the list of integer?
Okay. We can do something like this. Hello.
Have you done?
Yeah.
Okay, just give me a second. Okay, this would be a last program for your interview.
Okay.
Okay. Have you implemented localization in your project, like internalization, localization, where you have to support multiple languages in the Java? Do you have knowledge on that part?
No, sorry. Actually, I haven't worked on that.
You haven't. Okay, you need to write a Java program, Java 8 program.
Hmm?
You have a list of integer from 1 to 100. Okay. Now
Okay.
you need to write a Java program in Java 8. Okay, to find the sum of all even integers using without using a sum method. So it should be 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8 plus 10 plus 12 like that, but without using a sum method. Okay, got it?
Okay.
Sum of all even integers without using sum method. Go ahead and implement this in.
Okay.
You don't need to use some method actually, Devji. That's what I'm telling. Okay. Have you done?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's it from my side. Devji, do you have any question from your end?
So basically, means what type of project will I be working upon?
Sorry?
Okay. Means what all projects Caspex actually work upon?
Okay. Yeah, I can't disclose the name of the project. Even I don't know because we are hiring for multiple projects. If you clear this round, you can ask this question to HR actually. So she will help you, she or he will help you with the project details. But I can help you with your role and responsibility if you want to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Okay. So we are looking for the candidate who has good knowledge in core Java, Java 8, Spring Boot, microservice, and design and build and maintain a REST API service such as Spring, Hibernate, data storage, and then a strong knowledge in Java, Spring Boot framework, multi-threading, data structure, and should have knowledge in test, unit test cases, CI/CD pipeline, should work on SDLC or agile technologies,
Okay.
and should means should be interact with different people and should mentor the teammates as well, like juniors and all this. So
Oh,
this we are looking forward.
okay.
Okay.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. Got it.
Anything else, Jagdeep?
Yeah. It's fine only. Any feedback from
Okay.
me? Like areas of improvement?
Unfortunately, I can't give feedback as of now, but you
Okay.
will get it by the end of the day.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Sure. No problem. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Anything else from your side?
No, no. That's much only as of now.
Okay. Thank you, Jagdeep. It has been great to talk with you. Have a great day. Thank you
Yeah.
so
Same.
much for your time.
Yeah. Thank you
Take
so
care.
much. Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.